Well, hello, this is Mrs. Bobby, and we are at Module 1, Lesson 9. And today we are going to be doing some ratio tables. Now, today we're talking about spraying plants with cornmeal juice, and that being a natural way to prevent fungus growth on plants. So, this cornmeal water is made by soaking cornmeal in water using a 2 cup of cornmeal for every 9 gallons of water ratio. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be completing these ratio tables to answer questions and then answer the few questions that follow. So if we look back up into the problem, it says for every 2 cups of cornmeal, there are 9 gallons of water. Now, if you notice right here, there are titles. So if the top 2 boxes of a ratio table do not have titles, that is the first thing you're going to want to put in. And usually what I do is whatever ratio item comes first, that's the one I put on the left, and then the second one I put on the right. So in this case, it says 2 cups of cornmeal, 9 gallons of water. And we have to keep this ratio pattern throughout this whole thing. So the ratio pattern of 2 to 9 is just going to keep on going. Everything I put into this table will be equivalent to 2 to 9 ratio. So for every 2 cups of cornmeal, I have 9 gallons of water. So if I do 2 more cups of cornmeal, I have to then increase 9 more gallons. So I have to then put 9 more gallons onto this. And if I do 2 more cups of cornmeal, I have to do 9 more gallons of water. And if I do 2 more cups of cornmeal, I have to do 9 more gallons of water. And the next one, same concept. To finish off the table. Now, like I said before, all of these ratios will become equal to 2/9 when simplified or reduced down. So we can see this particular question underneath says, how many cups of cornmeal should be added to 45 gallons of water? If we look back up into the chart, we see that there are 45 gallons of water here. So how many cups of cornmeal? We just follow the chart over and we see that there are 10 cups of cornmeal needed for the 45 gallons of water. And underneath this, I'm going to adjust the screen just a little bit, so bear with me for the next 2 questions. It says Paul has only 8 cups of cornmeal. So if Paul only has 8 cups of cornmeal, how many gallons of water? So we're looking for how many gallons of water should he add if he wants to make such a cornmeal, to make as much cornmeal juice as he can. So we go up to the chart and we see, oh, there's the 8. So how many gallons of water should he add? He should add the matching number to that ratio, which would be 36 gallons of water to make the most cornmeal juice that he can. And then the very last question of this says, what can you say about the values of the ratio in the table? Well, like I said before, all of these ratios that we put onto this chart are equal to the ratio that we started with, which was the 2 to 9 ratio. So what can we say is that all the values are equivalent to the original ratio that we started with. So all the values in the ratio table are equivalent to the original ratio. That we started with. And that means started. It's just a little messy. And some of you might say, well, I don't really understand that. So if you just look over here, if we take 4/18, instead of looking at it like 4:18, we look at it as a fraction. If we divided the top and the bottom of the fraction, the numerator and the denominator, by the same number, it would reduce down or simplify to the 2:9 ratio that we started with. Same with 6/27. If we reduce the top and the bottom by a number that they have in common, remember, whatever you do to the numerator, you have to do to the denominator, we will get the 2:9 ratio. So every one of these items in this ratio table will become the 2:9 ratio that we started with. And once again, this is Mrs. Bobby, and I love math.